Welcome back. As we promised that we are going to tackle an important topic regarding our children, communication skills. Communication skills in general and activities which we can practice in the holy month of Ramadan to utilize the wonderful month, the month of happiness, the holy month in so many aspects, and particularly for our kids. To shed more light on this, we are very much delighted to have with us by phone Dr. Hossam Dwidar, Human Development Expert. A very good morning to you, Dr. Hossam, and happy Ramadan first.
Hello, Nermin. How are you? Good morning and happy Ramadan.
Sir, before going into details, are we that much now acquainted with the term of communication skills, or relatively it's still a new one, at least for many people?
Okay, let's first say what is the definition of communication.
Okay.
You know, communication is to send, receive, and understand the information.
Mm-hmm.
But from my side, I rather said that communication is receiving, understanding, and sending information.
Mm-hmm.
So to communicate, we have to receive and understand. Then we can send this information to other people. This is the definition of communication. Regarding communication skills, it's you know, anything you have to do, you have to have some skills to do this thing. And as we are a human being, we are socialized creatures, so we need the communication to deal with each other.
Yeah. Sir, when we should worry about the communication skills of our children, I mean, what are the factors or the signs which we should take care of?
You should take care of what you are doing, because what you are doing is reflected to your kids. So you have to start developing his communication skills from very early stages, maybe from 6 months to 1 year. You have to be careful of what you are saying, of how to say, with your body language. You know, our children is just a piece of cake. You can make it as you wish. So you have to be careful what you are doing to do with them.
So it's a must to develop our communication, the communication skills of our children, but it's not an easy job, true?
Yes, it's not an easy job, but you know, it's not an easy job, and it's not a difficult job. You know, it's you can do it by training. You can make it so easier for him nowadays by watching some programs, by watching some media on whatever the application you want to show them. But you have to choose what to for your children to see and how he will collect the data, you know?
Yeah.
That's all, yes.
Sir, when it comes to such terms, you know, you are going to find voices speaking about the good old days and speaking about our grandmas, for example, how they raised or how they brought up our parents or the previous generations. And they said, oh, you are talking about things which are brand new, and before parents were doing this by nature. Is it the technologies? Is it the new era? Is it the leap we are all witnessing in IT? What are the differences between today and the previous generations?
You know, as you said, it's not a big difference. It's a nature. Being a father and mother, it's a nature thing. We're born with it. but we have to cope with the technologies. We have to cope with the development we have. Coping with the technology and coping with the development nowadays is very important, because if you will not cope with this fast growing and fast developing century or fast developing mode, you will lose the control on your children. You have to be, you have to develop yourself to develop your children.
Yeah,
You got
amen
it?
to that. Sir,
Yeah.
the holy month of Ramadan is really such a wonderful chance for many things. Of course, to enjoy the spiritual atmosphere, to be closer to God, and to enjoy the rituals we have and the traditions we have in Ramadan, because Ramadan in Egypt, of course, it's different than any other place. But let me know how Ramadan can be a chance to develop the skills of our children.
You know, Ramadan is, as you said, it's a holy occasion. It's a spiritual occasion, and one of the most important things in Ramadan is the spiritual atmosphere. I can say that we can develop the skills of communication, but we can develop the values and beliefs of our kids in Ramadan, and this will automatically, cope with this, his skills after that. But mainly it's the values and the beliefs. That's why we have to go to our traditions and to let him see our ancient values and beliefs, and he will pick what's suitable for him, and we have to fit him with everything.
It's so difficult and so hard and maybe impossible to convince the new generations and the children to go a little bit far from the screens, from the mobile phones, from the laptops or whatever, and to return back to reading, for example, to watching the television far from the screens or the devices in their own hand. Is it an addiction? And if so, how we can prevent this from happening? Because this may delay the delay acquiring skills of communication, and this is applied not only to children, but to children, to teens, and maybe to grown-up people. If you agree with me on that.
Let's say everything has its positive side and its negative side. It's drawbacks and its good side. Mobiles and social media has both sides. So you have to train your child to use the positive side of social media and mobiles, and this will come with following up with him. Not, don't suppress him or just control him. You can, as you said, he's a way of reading. He can see, he can listen to audiobooks. He can see a video about the book you want him to read. Just cope with the development and technology. Personally, I don't read. I don't have the power to read, but I always listen to audiobooks, and I think it's for myself. It's develop my imaginary vision and using it while I'm traveling from here to there, driving or whatever, and I can use the technology. I can read all the book by hearing it, not by reading it. You got it?
Because you are grown up, I mean, with our children, because even in the small circle around me, I found that there are cases where children are trapped into the screens or are trapped into their devices in their hands. And unfortunately, this led to autistic syndromes, for example, for some of those kids. To prevent this from happening, it's a must, it's not a luxury. And there are parents who are now very much decisive. You are not going to use your device except for 1 or 2 hours per day, and that's it, and not to exceed that. How do you see these tricks or these methods to try to maintain or to preserve the mental health or the mental fitness of our children?
Yeah, it's a very good tool, and there is a tool you can use on the children mobiles, like Family Link from one of the developer. You can manage to shut down his mobile at the sleeping time. You can give him 2 hours per day, only 3 hours per day, but you have to start this early. This is my advice to all the parents. Once you put the mobile for your children, just start early to control, don't suppress, control 2 hours, 3 hours, just make a deal with him. Don't give him the mobile and stay for 1 or 2 years, then you discover that it's not correct. You have to control now. Just start it gradually, okay?
Also, other voices or analysts or experts are saying that practicing sports is one of the important methods we should have to develop our communication skills, particularly for children. If this is true, and would you please elaborate?
Sorry, practicing what? I didn't hear.
Sir, some experts are saying that practicing sports is very important in developing the communication skills of children. Okay. And the children who are practicing sports are more self-confident, they know how to express themselves and to communicate and socialize with people. If this is true, and would you please elaborate?
Yes, of course it's true, because socializing is one of the training you can got for your communication skills. Let's say communication can be divided to a lot of things. You can communicate by voice, audio communication, you can communicate by writing, you can communicate by audiovisual. So once he practicing whatever the kind of sports, he starts to communicate with his coach, with his colleagues, and start to know what to receive and what to send and what to understand.
One final question, sir, regarding communication skills. Some are saying that it's something inborn. I mean, you would find a child who is that shy or not X, and there are others who are by nature talkative, very much self-confident, and this is it. And others are saying, no, this is something acquired and anyone can acquire these skills. Which is which?
All researches are different, and there is both acquired and inherited skills, and there is acquired skills. Just training will develop the skills he have. We have everything inside us, but with training and learning, you will develop it and make the most of it.
Yeah. Dr. Hossam Dwidar, human development expert, thank you very much for your input, sir. Have a very good day and happy Ramadan once again. Well, after the short break, we are going to return back with the other segment of our breakfast show with my dear colleague Amal Mukhtar, who is going to speak with us about such a wonderful place, the Islamic Museum, and the wonderful pieces we have. In fact, every museum in Egypt contains treasures. This is an invitation. Go and see them yourselves. Well, this was Nermeen Abdurrahman. Many thanks for watching. Stay tuned.